All right, hey folks, we are going to continue working on the Martial Powers playtest campaign, Rubblebelt, the Ravnica Rubblebelt hexcrawl system. So give me a moment here to check my signal, see if I'm coming through okay. I will go through my intro, and then we'll get to work here for an hour or so. So here's me checking my mic check, 1, 2, 3. Here's me checking my mic check, mic check. Yep. Looks like it's coming through A-okay. Cool. All right, so I'm going to boost my signal here real quick across the interwebs and do my intro spiel. And so if you're catching us in the future, you can skip ahead like 30 seconds or something to get past me rambling about what it is that we're doing and get into why we're doing it and an enchantment process today. So I guess I'll do my intro here. Hey, my name is Phil Kearney. I create role-playing games, I illustrate them, and I publish them online. And I've been focusing my attention on Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition here for a past number of years. Since Guildmaster's Guide to Ravnica was released, Ravnica is one of the premier cornerstone settings of the Magic the Gathering multiverse narrative. And when that book was created, I had thought that perhaps there would be more details about how Dungeons and Dragons would approach color mana and the idea of the 5 colors, but it didn't. Instead, it converted magic into the 8 schools and spell slots of D&D, which I guess is predictable, but I didn't realize that was the format that we would be going with at the time. So that got me on the track of wanting to build my own color mana system, which we did. It's actually in the link down below. You can check it out on the DMsGuild, and it basically converts all of Dungeons and Dragons magic into a 5 color mana system instead of the 8 schools, and creates a color mana pool to tap, burn, and cast these spells from instead of spell slots. The Martial Powers project that we're working on right now is a further extension of having the rest of the classes in the game all use the same long rest or short rest, depending what kind of character you are, but using the same color mana system with either spells or basically martial powers, kind of like battle master maneuvers or like different monk key type features, to be a color pool so that all 13 classes in the game all use the same color mana resource system. We can do cool things with that in the future. Not only be able to express everything for Ravnica, but to also do cool stuff like have all 13 classes have reasons to attend Strixhaven, not just for like learning how to cast spells, but how to control your mana pool is a different reframing of like Strixhaven. Or like Theros, you've got piety, but you can also link that piety to the colors that their god represents. And of course, the guilds of Ravnica each have 2 colors. And so if you're a member of that guild, then you would be operating using those 2 colors, pulling like black and red if you're a Rakdos character, or like a green and white if you're a Selesnya character, etc., etc., etc. So the hex crawl that we're building here right now is, where is it? Here it is. Let's go over to here, and then playtest content. Here we go. Okay, great. So if you've been with us for the past 100 some odd episodes, hold on real quick. Let's go take a look here. Here we go. You can like, subscribe, hit the bell icon to get notifications in the future. I'm here 11 times per week. Here is the full playlist list of us building out the Martial Powers system for the past 120 some odd episodes. The Martial Powers playtest content you can get access through my Patreon, and is a read-only document while it's under playtesting. But basically, this is a deep dive into converting all of the martial and half-casting classes into the color magic paradigm, using a mana system that either refreshes on a short or long rest. It exists for all classes, including the barbarian, the thief, the rogue, the warrior, not just eldritch knights. And we've also converted every single subclass to gain bonus powers. There's 140 different powers that we've developed as a complete alternate spellcasting system that is martial powers inspired from a number of different 3rd and 4th edition resources that we've talked about extensively here in the past. And so each of the subclasses has a kit of bonus powers that they automatically get. And some of the powers you could just like spend a power to get a feat, for instance. Like at 6th level, you know up to 6 powers, assuming you don't spend any feats on it. But those powers themselves can be spent on various feats or like combat masteries, fighting styles, as well as sustained effects like personal auras that you can tap and maintain mana to sustain on your character, as well as various instant effects, boosts, exploits, strikes, reactions, maneuvers that we've been building out for the past 120 some odd episodes. So you can check all that stuff down in the link down below. If you think this stuff is interesting, we will be playtesting this in April. List of powers. There you go. 151 currently. There you go. So there's way more powers than your character could ever know, but they're all prepared on a long or short rest, depending on what kind of character you are. So you can eventually rotate through all of them and find out what action loop and what optimizations that you prefer for yourself. Has a very 3rd edition vibe to it. And means of optimization, but it's framed around being able to have everything as prepared powers that you can pick up or drop. And you could also, like hybrid, like the half-casters can mix either spells or powers depending on which ones you want to have, because they all use the same resource now. So that's the idea behind it. We're creating this Rubblebelt campaign as a means of showing, like just building an environment in the Ravnica setting that uses mana to traverse the Rubblebelt wastelands as the hexcrawl campaign theme, to give an excuse framework to playtest. So we're just building a micro campaign, a Westmarch style opt-in, opt-out. Whoever on the playlist roster is able to show up will, if you're a paying member of my Patreon, you'll have first rights. And then we go to people that are on my Discord channel. They have next rights. And then we outsource to other Discord channels, Reddit, and Facebook groups to see who else is interested in it. And so whoever shows up that week, they get to build a Ravnica character using the mechanics that we have here, throw some mana around, beat up some bad guys, delve into some ruins, find some artifacts, and sally forth. So we are currently going through the process of looking at enchantments from the gatherer.wizards. And we're happy with the list that we have for white enchantments. We're happy with the list that we have for red enchantments. There's a couple green enchantments I know we want to replace here with the X's. But I'm currently looking right now at the black and blue selections that we have to see if I'm content with them or not. I have the Storm, targeting abilities, powers, and spells are twinned. Halcyon Gaze, all creatures have a mirror image effect that can be dispelled. I like that. Detention Sphere is Azorius in flavor, but when you spend mana, make a charisma saving throw or get trapped inside of a resilient sphere that you then have to save your way out of. You know what? That's such a... when you spend mana, that's interesting. Because it could last as long as you want it to, and you could actually use that as a strategy. Since resilient spheres are basically indestructible unless you hit them with a disintegration effect, you can actually gain that to work to your advantage. The enchantment doesn't work outside of the blue land tile that you're inside of. I should probably go find a land tile. Hold on real quick. There's a slew of books that I created. Let's go find, let's see. Martial powers. I want my workbench. Rubblebelt workbench. There we go. Here we go. Here's the preliminary look at this. Each square is 10 miles. It takes 5 hours to search and resolve all the challenges. If it's the mountain-looking thing is ascending, is a raising elevation, and the V is a descending elevation, like into the Rubblebelt, into the Undercity that's been ruined by the Rubblebelt. Or you ascend upward. If it's up or down, it's difficult terrain, unless you have a ranger that's attuned to that type of environment. And then each tile, each 10-mile tile, is a specific color inside of a region, and a 3x3 space is a region. So this is a red region, and this is a red tile inside of the red region, so this is ultra red. This is a black tile in the red region, so that kind of implies Rakdos, right? So if your character is traversing the space, you're descending down into a sinkhole, and the type of things that you're going to find there could be a mix of red or black, but it'll favor the tile over the region. So, but there's the opportunity to have both of them. So it takes 5 hours to traverse a level ground, like these dashes means level ground. So 24-hour day, 9-hour rest, 5 hours per tile, and at the end of each 5 hour, during that 5-hour block, you scout the area, you conduct any combat, exploration, or social engagement, pillar adventuring challenges for that tile. And once you've successfully defeated that tile, you have a caravan of non-combatant escort. Basically, it's an escort mission. So you have a caravan of non-combatant characters or NPCs that you're basically guiding and leading through here. You're their scouts and Sherpa to keep them safe in this environment. So as you go and secure a tile, your caravan can advance into that tile and take a long rest in a secure area that you basically secure for them. Every time you secure a tile, you can take a short rest while the caravan advances into that space. So the cadence is like start of a new day, move into this tile, resolve the tile, take a short rest. Move to the next tile, resolve that tile, take a short rest. Move into the next tile, resolve that tile, take a long rest. If it's an elevation or sunken region, then it's going to be difficult terrain, so it's 10 hours to traverse and resolve that challenge. If you fail the challenge, your characters either run away or get killed. The caravan has an undefined number of NPCs, so if your character gets killed, you can just roll up a new character or grab one of the pre-generated characters we have off the stack and just keep going, replace that character. If you retreat from that area, then it will be a threat to your caravan that night because you've ran away from it. Any monsters that remain in the area are targeting you as a threat to the region, so they'll attack you in the evening. So if you can't resolve them, they'll try to resolve you later. And so the goal of the campaign is to basically test to see if we can have a realistic cadence of like 2 to 4 encounters per tile, and then take a short rest, and then have another 2 to 4 encounters. So 2 or 3, basically, like small groups of monsters, environmental hazards, or magical traps that are in the form of enchantments. So now you have a little bit of a premise. These enchantments that we created have hostile conditions that either directly affect the characters that are exploring that tile, or they somehow enhance, buff, or aid the creatures that are inhabiting that tile as they oppose your character's presence. So we're happy with the red ones. Ancient runes, when you sustain a mana effect, take a power die of damage. Rank equals mana tapped. So like if you can tap up to 5 mana at first level, you can only tap you can only tap 1 mana at first level. So the dice stack like this. D4, D6, D8, D10, D12. And so at first level, you can only tap 1 mana. And when you tap a mana, when you maintain or sustain an effect, that would deal D4 damage to your character. Doesn't sound like a lot, but if you're only first or second level, that's actually pretty significant. You have to be careful about that sort of thing. Aether Flash, when characters roll initiative, they'll take a power die of damage. Cavalcade of Calamity, creatures' crit range expands by 1 per rank. There's up to 5 ranks of severity that these enchantments can have. We have those listed up here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There we go. We should actually make it only there, like that. 2, 4, 6, 8, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. That's how it should stack. So the frequency is every 5 hours, or basically this would trigger, like if it's a mild effect, it would only trigger once during your visit. If it's a moderate effect, it could trigger twice, basically every 2 hours. And if you want, once you find the source of the enchantment, you can dispel it by spending mana, or you can attempt to disarm it or nullify it with thief pick tools, artificer tools, or an arcana check, thaumaturgy, prestidigitation. Anyway, there's ways to disable the enchantment when you find it. And if you don't disable it, it can afflict your caravan during the evening if it's a detrimental effect. Like Suppression Field, all characters' sustained effects and conditions end unless they pay a ward, which is you have to spend a reaction each turn to keep any sustained effects up and running. So it's eating your action economy to be able to maintain concentration on things. Privileged position. You cannot target creatures with powers or spells, which means that you can't directly hit them with a scorching ray, or you can't use the shunt effect, the shunt power that we've developed. You'd have to actually physically attack them with weapons. You could sustain powers on yourself. You could create self buffs and auras, but you wouldn't be able to target creatures with enchantment or with actual mana effects. So these are some of the different things. Sphere of Safety, attacks and targeted effects must pay a ward, which is it'll cost you a bonus action or an attack action per target that you're attacking. So if you have 2 attacks per round, if you want to attack a creature, you're going to have to spend either your bonus action or one of your attacks to make that attack. So it's eating up your action economy to be able to oppose these creatures. They're attuned to this stuff, so they aren't influenced by it. This is their home field advantage, as it were. So neat effects. So we're looking at the blue stuff. I like the Halcyon effect, which is basically all monsters. All monsters. Monsters are different from creatures. Verity Circle, monsters. Monsters have sentinel feet and are hypertunistic. Hypertunistic means that when you make an opportunity attack, you can attack twice. Let's see. Ice Cave. Oh, Ice Cave is one I wanted to replace. Monsters can counter spells as reactions. I like the idea of that, but the Ice Cave, I don't like the link. I just don't like that narrative. Either storm targeted abilities, powers, and spells are twinned. Monsters. I like that a lot. Halcyon Glaze. All monsters have a mirror image. I like that. Detention Sphere. When you spend mana, make a charisma saving throw or get resilient sphere. I don't think I like that. I'm going to see if I can replace that. Verity Circle. Monsters gain advantage to saving throws versus mana effects. High Alert. Monsters have the sentinel feet and are hypertunistic. I like those. Let's look at black. Blood Funnel. Powers and spells cost 2 less mana to cast when you sacrifice a creature. Nah, I don't like that. When creature dies. Let's simplify that since I'm going to get rid of it. Grave Betrayal. Slain creatures rise as zombies the following turn. Zombies remain dead at 0. Shrieking Afflictions. Takes D4 damage per round unless you are sustaining a mana effect. I love that. Havoc Festival. Characters can't heal. That's absolutely brutal. But there's ways. But like the lifesteal ability, it doesn't heal hit points. It grants temporary hit points equal to the damage that you deal. So it has a cap. It doesn't heal your pool. It just prevents you from losing damage. It's a different take. I like that. Let's see. Monsters have advantage on attacks. When killed, become specters. Characters are disadvantaged to attack. No, we already have the zombie effect with Grave Betrayal, so I don't think I really want to duplicate that again. I think I can find something better. Theater of Horrors. When characters take damage, they are vexed, which means you are disadvantaged to attack. Monsters can't be countered or dispelled by... Yeah, I'm going to replace that too. It just seems a little complicated. I want to keep it simple. Because if these things work, we'll build this out and put it on DMsGuild as an offer. Let's keep going. And then we have Germination is when a creature dies, a sap-rolling plant creature is created. So where are we at on our master list? I can hear myself. Hold on. Let's see if I can make that a little quieter here. Bop, 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 bop. There. Let's go. Let's see. Amok. Discard a card at random. Put a +1/+1 counter on a target creature. Amok is... Well, we already have black, so we're good. Red. We're good with red. Enchantments. Let's go back. Enchantment. Color is going to be green. And the type is going to be enchantment. It's not or enchantment, it's global enchantment that we're looking for. So let's find something green. There's 681 things. Surely we'll find something cool. Let's I'm going to expand that out a bit so I can zoom in on the text a little bit more here for everyone to maybe see a little easier on the screen with me. So when a killer among us enters the battlefield, create a 1/1 human token. A bunch of creatures, sacrifice. No. Abundance. If you would draw a card, you may instead choose a land or non-land and reveal cards from the top of your deck until you reveal a card of the chosen kind. Choose land or non-land. Put that card into your hand and put all other cards. Abundant growth. Enchant land. That's a land or enchantment. A land enchantment I could potentially be okay with. Draw a card. Abundant growth is it would allow any mana to be used as any color. I don't want them to be beneficial because then the team's not going to want to leave the hex, leave the tile. Commander creatures you own have first dragon spell you cast each turn costs 2 less to cast. No. Interweb. No. Aphia Grove. Aphia Grove enters the battlefield with 3 counters on it. Aphia Grove onto target creature. Aid from the Cowl. Revolt. At the beginning of your end step, if a permanent you controlled left the battlefield this turn, reveal the top card of the library. If it's a permanent card, you may put it onto the put it onto the battlefield. Otherwise, you put it in the bottom of the library. At the beginning of your end step, if a permanent you control left the battlefield this turn, reveal the top card of your library. If it's a permanent card, you may put it onto the battlefield. Otherwise, you may put it on the bottom. So this would be like if you kill a creature, another creature shows up. That would be perpetual combat, which I don't want to do to the team because there's no victory condition there unless they disable the aura or the enchantment. And that's a little bit more than I want them to bite off. Any player may cast creature spells with mana 3 or less without paying their mana cost as though they had flash. Jeez, that's talk about abundance. And a sanctuary at the beginning of your end upkeep. If you control a blue or black enchantment, target creature gets bonus. Nope, too complicated. I mean, a lot of these things would work. It's just, I just want something a little bit more unique. Arboreal Alliance enters the battlefield. Create green tree folk creature tokens. Whenever you attack with 1 or more elves, populate, which is create a token and a copy of the creature token you control. Okay, Arboreal Alliance. That makes sense. Forest has trance in addition to any random green creatures opposing forest animate is for trees. Trees can animate as trance until the enchantment is disabled. I like that a lot. Arborea. Creatures can't attack a player unless that player casts a spell. Ooh, that's neat. I like that a lot. Arborea. Arborea. Creatures can't attack a player unless that player casts a spell or puts a non-token permanent onto the battlefield before their last turn. No, it's too conditional. I like the idea of it, but it's too conditional. Let's skip it. As luck would have it, whenever you roll a die, put a number of luck counters on as luck would have it, equal to the result. Then if there's 100 or more luck tokens, you win the game. Asceticism. There we go. That's actually perfect. Hexproof. Let's go find out what hexproof means, shan't we? Hexproof. It is a reaction. As a reaction to when a creature you can see targets you with a spell or magical effect, the creature must succeed a charisma saving throw at disadvantage, or you are unaffected and the spell or effect is wasted. So basically, even if you wouldn't normally get a saving throw, they get a charisma saving throw. If they pass, you burn the mana and it's dispelled. So monsters are hexproof. There you go. That's nasty. And that resolves green. So let's go up, let's check out blue. Let's go mess around with blue. How fun is that? And as if we decide to develop this out into something a little bit more formal, we can flesh out the list. Like we can expand the list maybe and even put it like in tiers. Let's go with blue. Add. Search. What, 800 something? 763. Let's see what we got. Untap enchanted creature. You control enchanted creature dies. Return that card to the battlefield. Aura. That was an aura anyway. Aura. Ether barrier. Aura. What do we got? Ambiguity. Whenever a player plays a spell that counters a spell that has been played, or a player plays a spell that comes into play with counters, that player may counter the next spell played or put an additional counter on the permanent that has already been played, but not countered. Jesus. Yeah, no. That's a horrible card. Ancestral Knowledge. Cumulative upkeep. At the beginning of your turn, put an age counter on this permanent. Then sacrifice it unless you pay its upkeep cost, which for each age counter on it. When Ancestral Knowledge enters the battlefield, look at the top 10 cards of your library, then exile any number of them and put the rest back on top of your library in any order. When Ancestral Knowledge leaves the battlefield, shuffle your battle. That's too complicated. Aquatic Incursion. When Aquatic Incursion enters the battlefield, create 2 merfolk with hexproof. They can't be the target. Ooh. Okay. No, that's perfect. Aquatic Incursion equals... let's just do it like this. Blue creature, blue monsters are amphibious and hexproof. Arcane Adaption. Enchant creature. Oh, it's an aura. No, wait. As Arcane Adaption enters the battlefield, choose a creature type. Creature control that are chosen in addition to other types. The same is true for creature spells you control. Arcane Laboratory. Each player can't cast more than one spell each turn. That's, ooh, I like that. Arcane Laboratory. That's better than the Ice Lab, Ice Cave. Arcane Laboratory equals characters can only sustain one effect at a time. That won't matter at first level, but like at 5th, 9th, and 13th level, that's actually really significant because you can maintain multiple concentration effects using the mana system that we developed. You can actually check it out if you're interested. It has a free preview. All of the books have free previews. Pacts and Patrons of Ravnica is a really cool Warlock supplement using the 10 guilds as otherworldly patrons, worth checking out. And here's the color mana stack. Here's the color mana spell point variant rules. And here's the core mechanics here. You can check all these things out. Hold on. Something just hit on my phone. I need to check my shit. Huh. All right. Arcane Library. Characters can only sustain one effect at a time. I love that. So now all we have to do is we have 3 black aura enchantments that we need to swap out. So let's get swappy. Go to here. Get rid of blue. Black instead. All right, black and blue. Black and blue. Black, 600 auras, 600 enchantments. Rumors of my death. Exile a permanent you control with a Leo. No. I already know that's a no. Backgrounds, no. 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 Auras, 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 auras everywhere. Legend. Ugh. Argul's Bloodfast. At the beginning of your upkeep, if you have 5 or less life, you may transform Bloodfast into something. Fuck it, whatever. Enchant artifact. No. 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 Aura. No. Sacrifice a creature. Destroy target non-black creature. I'm not going to do that to the players. That's just mean. Bad Moon. Creatures get +1/+1. I mean, that's certainly a thing. It's a mood. Shrieking Affliction. Take D4 damage per round unless you are sustaining a mana effect. You know what the enchantment. If you scout the area, you'll learn about the enchantment before you enter the area, so you can choose which tile you want to go into. If there's an aura, if there's an enchantment present, you'll know enough about the enchantment to decide if you want to mess around with it or not. Havoc Festival, characters can't heal. Shrieking Affliction, Zombie. Let's enchantment. Bad Moon. Maybe. Bad Moon's a maybe. Bad Moon equals monsters have advantage on attacks. Meh. Instead, Bad Moon equals monsters add 1 power die to attack rolls. That's actually really good. At first rank, like a goblin is a first rank monster, it would add a D4. A beholder is a 4th rank monster. It would add a D10. That's pretty severe. That's super fun. So what else you got? What you got? Give me something more. Bastion of Remembrance. When Bastion of Remembrance enters the battlefield, create a white human soldier creature token. Whenever a creature you control dies, each opponent loses life and you gain life. Nah. Behind the scenes, creatures you control have skulk. They can't be blocked by creatures with greater power. Behind the scenes. Monsters are invisible. That's nasty. Oh, wait. Behind the scenes equals. This is a good one. Monsters can channel vanish at as a bonus action. That's a super yes, actually. And what is vanish, you might ask? I'm glad you did. Vanish. You become invisible until the beginning of your next turn. There you go. It's going to eat a bonus action to do so, but a lot of creatures don't have anything to do with a bonus action, so why not? I love that. Don't necessarily love the title, but I love what it's doing. And you automatically get the advantage on attack rolls because you're invisible. So that's freaking sweet. That's fantastic. What else you got? Whenever a green creature dies, this controller discards a card. That's so mean. Ooh, binding. That's an aura. Biotransference. Creatures you control are artifacts in addition to their other types. The same is true for creature spells you control and creature cards you own that aren't on the battlefield. Whenever you cast an artifact spell, lose life and create a black Necron warrior artifact creature token. I kind of like that, but we already have the zombie. The idea here would be whenever your character spends mana, they create a CR creature equal to the amount of mana spent. It's like if you spend 3 mana, you create a CR3 creature. CR3 artifact creature. That's neat, but we already have the zombie effect when you kill stuff. But this is on mana cast, so I like the idea of that, but I'm not 100% behind it. Equal rank. 1 mana, first rank. 5 mana, 5th rank. There you go. That's possible. Let's see if we can find something better. Black market. Whenever a creature dies, put a charge. It's a Rubblebelt, not a marketplace. Blanket of Night. Each land is a swamp, in addition to its other land types. Oh, there we go. That's, no, that could benefit the team. This would be mana counts as black, in addition to any other color that it might be. And that's beneficial to the team, and I don't want to do that. When an enchanted land becomes tapped, destroy it. Blight. Oh my god, that's nasty. Blight Mound. Attacking pests you control get +1, +0, and have menace. Whenever a non-token creature dies, create a new pest token. Meh. We already have the zombie that's creating things, so that's good enough. Blood Reckoning. Whenever a creature attacks you or a planeswalker you control, that creature loses 1 life. Oh my god. Wow. Whenever you make it, basically this would be whenever you target a creature with an attack or an effect, take a point of damage. That's nasty. Let's do it. Let's do it. That's best. Last 20 minutes. Nice, we did it. Blood Reckoning. When characters target monsters with attacks or effects, take 1 damage. Take 1 damage equal to rank. Equal to rank. Per rank. There you go. So you would be able to target each other and not take damage. So you could be putting buffs or heals onto each other. If you're using the life gain. Why am I blanking on the name of that? It's a strike effect. Sometimes you just blank on shit. Lifesteal. There you go. Life-stealing strike. Your weapon damage increases by 1 power die per mana burned. In addition, you gain a number of temporary hit points equal to the result of the power dice rolled. Any temporary hit points that remain when you start a short or long rest are lost. So this would basically, since you can kit out, you can swap out any power that you know during a short rest. So if you're scouting ahead and you know that this effect is active in the next black tile that you're planning on going into, everyone can just kit up on having life-stealing strike in their power kit. So you could use that and constantly have a temporary hit point buffer protecting you from taking that damage. And some of the mechanics that we have in this game allows you to buy down the cost of powers to 0 by spending action economy to basically lessen the cost. So you can drop the cost down to something to 0, and it effectively becomes a cantrip. You can still trigger it. It just doesn't cost any mana to do so. And as you gain higher levels, you can drop the cost of things further and further. Like a 3rd rank power, you can like a fighter, like an 11th level fighter can drop the cost of a 3rd rank power down to 0 because they could sacrifice multiple attacks to do so. So fun stuff, fun stuff. But hey, we did it. We got all the buffs resolved. So that completes our primary task for the day. And let me check my timer here. Oh yeah, we're only 40 minutes in. So I can. It's 2:20 here in Seattle. Yeah, we still got a little bit of time left. Let's see. What we need to do is we need to pick a selection of environmental hazards and creatures. I think, and I also want to try to finish this selection of colors, different land types. So, Azorius Data Center Ruins, Orzhov Palace, Boros Garrison, Selesnya City Tree. These are white lands that are elevated. These are white lands on level ground, and then there are no sunken white lands. Blue can be up, flat, or down. Black can be flat or down. Red can be up, flat. Green can be up, flat, or down. There you go. It's like a green down wouldn't be like a green white combo because white doesn't sinkhole, so that wouldn't count. Hey Conan, how you doing? Necrotic Ooze would be a great for black hazard. Oh well, let's test that theory, my guy. Let's see. Let's go to MTG Necrotic Ooze. Love the art. It's a creature. As long as Necrotic Ooze is on the battlefield, it has all activated abilities of all creature cards in all graveyards. See, that's a lot of complexity for converting that into D&D. We would have to, I guess it would be any dead creature that's in contact with the ooze. The ooze attains the abilities and effects that the fallen creature possesses. That broaches an interesting. Is that the right word? That creates an interesting question, which would be, let's see, creatures by color. Maybe that would be a cool region boss. White, blue, black, red, green. This, I think, would be a fun necrotic ooze. So when we go through and we create and we list out the different creatures by color, we can start considering. I think that's a great idea, man. Thank you. That's a great idea. Necrotic ooze equals black pudding, of course. That gains abilities and effects of creatures that it consumes. That's fucking cool, man. I love that. Holy biscuits. That's a cool. We could have like a D4 number of different bosses, like a dungeon. Okay, so there's where is it? Let's see if I can find my array up here. Tile of procedures. There we go. No. Land types. I want to start working on land types. So don't distract me too much. But if you join my Discord, you can talk to me about it as much as you want. And if you want to find my Discord, you can go to the About page of my Patreon here in the description, and here on the About page. You don't have to be a member of my Patreon to access my Discord. But oh crap! Continue to Discord invalid. Invite invalid. Why would that be? Let's go to my Discord channel real quick. Hold on. Here we go. And here's my welcome. And then right click, invite people. Let's copy that. And then edit. There. Yeah, should be good now. So if you want to hang out and talk to me about that kind of stuff, you are most welcome to kick into my Discord and hang out with me. Let's see, because this is going to be a playtest Rubblebelt campaign that I'm running. So just to test the martial power system in general. So if this stuff is cool to you, you're welcome to dive in with us. Where's the procedure? Threats. Here we go. There's creatures, traps, and hazards. And then in the Rubblebelt, there's the 5 types of land. 3x3 squares, tiles, regions, areas, level terrain. Where's my varieties? Okay, so each terrain has different sets of random threats. I know it's more formalized down here. It's still a very, very, very rough draft. Oh, here we go. Challenges. Each area has 2 challenges. Roll a d6. There's a straight up like roaming monsters, general environment hazards, and enchantments, and then there's dungeons. And then dungeons are basically, until you clean the dungeon, it'll continue creating monsters on the surface. And inside of the dungeon, the key feature is either going to be enchantments, which we've been going over, monsters, which are generated, and then environmental hazards. I question if that's the case. Each dungeon has a dungeon boss. There we go. That was easily resolved. And then we have our dungeons. We have a grid of different shape 5-room dungeons on my Discord already, provided to us by big friend Sir Atlas. And let's see, let's go back down to our critters. Dungeon. So this won't be region boss, it'll be dungeon bosses. There we go. Dungeon bosses. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So when we go about actually, so let's see if we can make any progress. Now that I'm like on a major tangent, bless you for that, because this is a great idea. But I do want to continue accumulating land types. So let's go back into the gatherer. Back out of here, and let's go to types as land. And color is, what color am I looking for? Why am I chasing this is? I'm sure I had a good reason. White. Add. Continue. I develop on Mondays, Tuesdays, and Fridays at lunch, basically during this time. Your search returns 0 results. Why would it return 0 results? Maybe just land? You just have lands? It does contain land. Oh boy, it's alphabetical. Display. Output format. No. Sort by color. Does land not actually count as a color? That doesn't seem to make any sense. Why isn't land sorted by color? Oh, well, I guess we gotta do it the hard way. More color options? Damn it. Okay, well, let's. I guess I can't. It could be terrible, right? White lands, cards, MTG. Maybe I can get an answer this way. Scryfall. Okay, let's see if I can just get. Ooh. Thanks for the tip. Let's see if I can find one here, huh? Okay, let's try your way. Scryfall. Huh. Okay, thanks. No. Hey, check out the big brain on Zados. Thanks, my guy. I'm going to... There, for reference. And thank you. Ooh, base camp. I don't think I'm necessarily concerned about the color. Yeah, because I've already searched through Ravnica cards specifically for land types, and we've come up short. So, like, there wasn't enough of them to really flesh out what we wanted in the amount of variety that I wanted. So, we're looking for elevated. We're looking for elevated white tiles. Is this? Let's zoom in a bit more here. I guess we can just start hunting. Abandoned outpost comes. I could, Aguda. We have that as straight ups, blue up. Let's go with, maybe Abandoned Outpost. Dungeon Descent. It's a little on the nose. All your green legend gains bans. Neat. Aether Hub. Ancient Den. Ooh. Ally Encampment. Hall of Tagson. I see that it's offering me a bunch of colorless land generation here at the front end. Baldur's Gate. Where's my way? Arfindale. Cave of the Frost Dragon. Cute. Oh, Citadel Gate. Citadel Gate enters the battlefield. Let's go with a Citadel Gate. That sounds like a fun idea. That's straight white. Cloud Post comes into play tapped. Add 1 mana for each locus. Neat, but no. I need white mana, a mana by zone. Needing my mana, the mana by zone. Next 60. A lot of colorless action going on here, my guy. Crystal Vein, Crystal Grotto. Ooh, Crystal Grotto, neat name. There we go. There, not less specific, please. Deserted Temple. Deserted Temple's not horrible. I already have Deserted Temples. Ors of Palace. Selesnya City Tree. Abandoned Outpost is looking better. City Gate. Citadel Gate, I think, replaces that, though. Not a desert. Diamond City, too specific. Diamond Valley. Detection Tower. That's colorless. Why do I have a bunch of colorless stacked up the front end? My white mana request. Drifting Meadow. That sounds like a Zendikar thing. Drifting Meadow enters the battlefield. I fucking love that. That is a very appropriate elevated because it could be just a sky island. Drifting Meadow. That's perfect. I love it. Okay, cool. That was easier than I expected. Now let's I bet blue. Base camp, academy. Ooh, academy ruins. I like that. What do you say, academy ruins being up or down? Academy, that feels uppish to me, right? I don't know what language I'm using there, but sure as hell ain't WASD. Academy ruins. Neat. What else you got? Come on, baby. Give me some blue. Archway Commons. One color of any mana. Ash Barrens. Come on, man. Give me some blue. Give me my blue. None of these be blue. Why they always say it's blue? There we go. Now we're starting to get some castle. That's specific. I can't use that. Cathedral of War. No. Shit. That's my that's my timer, but I feel like I just started to get a grip on things. So City of Ass. City of Brass, City of Traders, City, 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 Cloud Post, City, City, City. Oh, I see. It could be, okay, got it. It can be anything, so it counts as blue. Got it. Ooh, Coral Atoll. Coral Atoll enters the battlefield. Tab and Coral Atoll enter the battlefield. Sacrifice it until your turn. That would require water, which I don't necessarily want to have showing. Let's go to the next. Let's see if I can just find two real quick. Cradle of Accursed, Crawling Barrens. Crucible of Spirit, Cryptic Spires. Ooh. Not going to use Desert. What can we find in here? Fairy Conclave. Love it. That's a good one. I don't know if that's specifically Ravnica. I'm not aware of Fey presence in Ravnica. I'm not steeped in Ravnica lore deep enough to know if that's legit or not. But I mean, this hexcrawl thing could technically be like a Zendikar hexcrawl would be cool, where like the land itself is crawling. I love that idea. That's great. What is this? This is Gate to Sea Tower. No. Hangnail. Show me what you got. Glass pool. No. 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 Yeah. Here we go. Halimar Depths. Enters the battlefield. Look at the top two cards. I'll put them back. Yeah. Sounds like a Halimar sounds like a setting specific thing. Hall of the Storm Giants. That's critter specific. It doesn't feel right. Ooh, Hidden Cataract. Neat. That sounds like a sunken terrain. Yeah, because it's a cave. Hidden Cataract. That's cool. Looks like we're full on black. Waterfall, Sunken Lake, Aqueduct, Watery Grave. Is that Infrastructure Ruins? Simic Cave-In. Let's replace Watery Grave, because that's just a title, and this is a better one, Hidden Cataract. And let's see if I can find some level blue. I need a top and a level. Let's see if we can find some real quick, and then I gotta cut out of here. Searching. Ipnu Rivulet. It's a desert thing. Skip it. Plus, it sounds very Amonkhet to me, so I don't think that's appropriate. Labyrinth, Lock, Skyline Cascade, maybe. Hold on, let me get my text to move here. I hate how this stupid heart button gets in the way of reading shit. It's in the card, but I'm not opposed to it. Let's Oh, neat. Okay, I'm down with that. Now we need is one more blue, and we'll be good to go. I like that idea. Like, why would it be creating a waterfall out of nothing? Lonely sandbar. I mean, that's theoretically it's a level ground option. Maybe. I'm not 100% on that one yet. Magic Mage Ring Network. Oh god, that's juicy. Am I go see the Water Veil? Ooh, Marsh Flats. That's cool. I'm going to go with that for Black Flat. Marsh. I like that. Wow, we are getting close, my guy. Thanks for your help here. Just need one blue flat land, and then we'll cut. And so we'll be back on Monday to do more lands. And then once the lands are done, we can start building hazards into each of the land types. Memorial of Genius. Memorial to Genius. Nah. Too specific. If it's a specific title, it's probably something that someone would go looking for. It wouldn't be abandoned. It would be part of a infrastructure reclamation project. It would not be just left. So like I want it kind of. Wow, Misty Rainforest. That's fun. Mobilized district. I mean, Misty Rainforest is a pretty cool one for green, right? Do we need green? Not specifically. Mooring Island. Ooh, that's interesting. Mooring Island? Nah. Sounds too. I don't know, man. Maybe. Mystic Sanctuary. Ooh. Neat. Misty Sanctuary. Misty. Not quite the flavor that I'm looking for. It's a neat idea, though. I'm being picky. Very, very picky, I know. Opal Palace, too specific. Painted Bluffs. Ooh, neat. But we're skipping deserts. Pillars of Prunes. That sounds like a very specific thing. We're going to skip that. Plaza, polluted. Ooh, polluted Delta. We'll take it. Yeah, I think I'm okay here. Okay, so I gotta go. And add to deck Shelldock Isle. I'll check that out real quick before we bail. MTG Shelldock Isle. Get out of my way. Interesting. Nah, I'm gonna let that one go. Yeah. No, I think I'm content. I think we have a decent array here. Island level, water with structures rising from it. Canals, waterfalls leading down, steam vents. That's a decent array. So this is the general makeup. Like, so again, if we're looking at the terrain here, like if we were to be in, say, I don't white with a descending blue. So if I'm in a blue tile and we're looking down, it'd be like Sunken Lake or Hidden Cataract. This is specifically in a blue, like this is a blue region, a red region, white region, red region, and then each of these tiles is a specific local, like a black tile, white tile, green tile, blue tile in a blue region. So that'd be like ultra blue. So blue down. That'd be like Demir aqueducts here and here. That's the idea. So we have we have elevated, flat, and sunken. Yeah. So when we come back on Monday, we'll start up with this deck builder here that you offered, and go with our red terrain, and then finish out our green terrain. And once we finish those, we can start looking at what kind of natural hazards might be in each of these areas that we can trigger on the characters to have to deal with either during a fight or as a general, like a global hazard that needs to be navigated through. So we'll see if we can build like combat complications and then global hazards. Those will be the two types of hazards we're looking to develop by color land type. And so once we get the land types resolved and we get our stack of creatures resolved, we have our enchantments resolved. So once we have that all kitted out, we'll have enough basics that I can start randomizing tiles and regions, and then build some, and then have a playtest team go in and fuck around inside of it and see if it's fun. And then we'll just take it from there. The plan is to start at level 1, like go 3 weeks at level 1, and then level 3 for 3 weeks. So 3-week blocks, level 1, level 3, 5, 9, 11, 13. 1, 3, 5, 9, 11, 13. So that's 6. Maybe we'll cap off at 9, because at some point you're going to get access to, at 13th level, you're going to get teleport as a wizard. You're just going to leave the place. That kind of makes sense. So maybe we'll just go from 1 to 9. So 1, 3, 5, 7, 9. I already playtested it with my home table from level 16 to 20. And it works really well at that level. So it's these low levels I need. That's 15 weeks. That's 4 months. April, May, June, July. So we'll be done in July. At that point, we should be able to get enough feedback to know if everything is solid. By the first 9 weeks, we should know this is solid. I already like the high end. It's just the low end I want to make sure works well. So after running through that 4-month burst, it'll be 1 day a week. We'll figure out when. And then once we lock that in, we should have enough data for us to start getting an editor on board and start fleshing out the document, and then be able to move into production. September 24th, when the new Player's Handbook drops for 5e24, we'll be rebuilding the entire color mana system using whatever new mechanics it is that are brought to us by Wizards of the Coast. We'll update all this stuff. Like, all this stuff is free preview anyway, but anyone that wants to buy this stuff helps the cause. But like each class has like little rules about how they use color mana differently. And so we'll have an opportunity to reformat the entire book, clean up some of the artwork to improve upon it, and see what the new text that comes through, what the new mechanics are, that we can then lean in and embellish this stuff. Like the monk we can really build out since it's in the power system. Like we don't have to pay as much attention to those. We can focus more on the actual casters. Like we built an entire, like the Warlock is like super basic there, but then we have the entire Spell Point Warlock book. You just pay what you want. But the color mana system here for the amount of spell points, you have your short rest mana, And then you get an extra stack of long rest mana that you can spend on high magic, on the Arcanum, or just to cast more pact magic spells. And then anyone that's interested can jump into here and check out Pacts and Patrons of Ravnica. That is designed to be used with the spell point Warlocks. Here, let's check out the Golgari Swarm. So here's your extended spell list for the Golgari as a Warlock. This is if you chose to have Golgari, the Guild of Golgari, to be your actual otherworldly patron that you're devoting yourself to. As a guild mage, you become a Warlock and you have a pact. You have a guild pact with the Golgari Swarm. So like host of the Swarm, at first level you can start dealing extra damage with bugs that crawl over you. And now you can acquire a familiar, a pest friend. Then you have Death Scatter. At 10th level, if damage would reduce you to 0 hit points, instead you transform into a swarm of insects for an hour. And if you survive that experience, you reform. And then Vile Venom at 14th level, you can magically call upon the vilest venom that the insect world has to offer. When you successfully hit a creature with an attack, you can conjure venom of flesh-eating insects to drench the wounds, inflicting 8d10 necrotic damage to the target. Once you use this feature, you can't do so again until you finish the long rest. And of course, I did all the artwork. So I was a freelance artist before I became a book designer. So now I get to use all of my art skills to embellish the design that I build. But all the guilds are here, and then there's a bunch of additional pacts that have optional boons that are kind of keyed to different color ideas, and then there's a stack of additional additional incarnation, different invocations in general, like 30 some odd of them. This is a fun book to build. God, this is a fun book to build. Anyway, stuff. I like making NTG to D&D stuff is what I do. So that and Spelljammer. Love Spelljammer. Anyway, I am late. I gotta go. Thanks a lot. Zados, thanks for hanging out, dude. You've been really helpful today. I really appreciate you. Anyone else that catches us in the future, I'm here 11 times per week working on different projects. Like, subscribe, hit the bell icon to get notification when I'm up and running in the future. Check out my Patreon if you want. You can join my Discord through the Patreon. I'll see you guys on the other side. Laters.